What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, GG Forex. On today's video, I'm going to show you how to spot trends, what they actually are saying, and is it a good place to get into a trade, or should you just leave it alone completely? So this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do on today's video. Right, we're now jumped into my computer. Let's have a look for a few trades on smart charts to see if there's any opportunities out there or if there are any trades out there. So let's just have a little look. This is completely on the fly, but this is how it's done. I normally stick to T-wave and 180 phase changer. I just feel like that's the easiest way to spot a trend for me, and I'll explain that in another video. But let's just go on T-wave right now. Let's see what it's saying as a signal. Of course, today is a Saturday, so the stock markets are actually closed. So obviously Forex stock markets are open 24 hours a day, Monday to Friday. So, what is a trend? A trend is if it's going up or if it's going down, or technically sideways. But we want to avoid sideways markets when we're beginners because we don't really know where we're going and we're not knowledgeable enough to understand the signals that where it could change or where it couldn't change. So if the trend's going up or the trend's going down, it's a safer trade. So as you can see here on this trade, the Euro Aussie, it is a downwards trade and then it goes into a sideways trade. So I wouldn't place this trade purely because, as you can see, the moving averages are come together. But let's just ignore that and let's just look at what's previously happened and would it be a good place to get into a trade around here. So let me get my drawing tools out. Right, trend lines, trend line here. So let's say anything past this section hasn't actually happened yet. Let's just have a look at this. So if I was going to draw a trend line, I'll go for the higher highs. And what you want to do when you draw a trend line is you want to try and hit as many points as you can. So for this, what you want to do is find the beginning of phase one. And phase one is whatever the trend is in that direction. So if the trend was going up, then phase one move would be the trend going up, and then the phase two would be the pullback to the trend line, if that makes sense. So let me just draw that on here now. Let me use a freehand drawing tool. I'm rubbish with this drawing tool, but it's just the fastest way to show. So the trend line is going down. This move here, that's phase one. And then this is the pullback to the trend line. And then this is phase one, and then this would be the pullback to the trend line. But so that's what that means. Let's just delete that. So what you want to do is connect the dots to the tops of as many. Let's explain this another way. You want to connect the dots to as many tops of the OHLC bars as possible. Why? Because this means it's a more reliable trend. That is hit this point more often than it hasn't, and it's come back down again. So you can safely say, to a degree, that when it hits this line, it's going to go in the opposite direction. Kind of the same as a resistance line or a support line. So let's just look at one of these right now. So as you can see, it's a downwards trend and then it goes down again into phase one, and then it sort of goes into a sideways market. So this is where the buyers and the sellers haven't really won. It's undecided. That's probably because it's a Friday afternoon when this trade was finished. So let's just look at a support line for this trade. Again, we're going to go into tools, we're going to go into trend lines and a horizontal line. Put it in red. What you want to do is, again, try and get as many points in as you can that are touching. So that way it's a stronger signal to you to say, look, it hasn't really passed this line. So when it does, it could carry on in that direction, and that could be another trend. Well, for this, it will carry on being a downwards trend, but that's the idea of it. So let's just put in a resistance line where it hasn't got above. This is a great way for you guys to really understand, like this has helped me out loads. This is to really understand what the market is doing right now, where it's about to go. Let's just put this in a different, actually no, let's just put a little speech bubble so it's easier for you guys to understand. Notes, balloon. And I recommend you guys actually to do this, just draw on your charts as much as possible. So when you look at it at first glance, you understand exactly what's going on. You say, okay, right, this is my support, this is my trend, this is my resistance. If it gets past this point or breaks through here, then you can say, okay, it's going to be a new trend coming on here. And then you can jump on it early and get out when everyone else is getting in, and then you're going to make profit. So let's just have well, the plan is to make profit. Let's do it again, balloon. I can spell resistance. Whatever. How do you spell it? Come on. Whatever. You understand what I mean? I'm gonna spell resistance, take the piss, whatever, I don't care. That'll be your resistance line. So Smart Charts is saying that this is a downwards trend, just because you've got, like, if you have a look at within the sideways market, you got phase 2, phase 1, phase 2, phase 1. So you've got little trends going on inside here, but it just hasn't broken between these two marks. So you could say, if it breaks past this resistance line here, that could be a continuation of the downward trend. Or if it breaks up through the support line, it could be the start of an upwards trend. But what I recommend for you guys to do is just start drawing on your charts, really get an understanding of phase 1 and phase 2 moves, because that's what the charts do. That is it. That's all you need to understand. Upwards, downwards, sideways, phase 1, phase 2. And then the more complicated stuff is spotting when it's the end of a trend and it's the start of a new one. So you get a double bottoms or double tops is a good sign for that. Let's see if we can find previously where a trend has started and ended clearly, so I can show you, but it doesn't look like it's going to be on here. Let's go somewhere else randomly. Let's have a look. Bloody hell, it's a downwards trend on here. Okay, here's a good example for you. So let's just zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. So we have, this is why you want to draw on your charts, just so you can, what you're seeing with your eyes, it's so easy to pick out. So let's just have a look at this trend line. Boom, 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 boom. Don't know why I said that. So this will be a trend line. You can see it's going up, phase 1. This is all phase 1, came down, back up again, came down to a trend line. But then it went past the trend line. So if you could see that this is now, let's draw another line, trend lines, horizontal line. It's now gone past, so now you're no longer getting higher highs, you've now got a higher low, which is a good signal that it's going to go down. And obviously, as you can see here, you see the 8 is above the 20, which showed a bullish trend. And then it goes to a sideways market where the moving averages are crossing each other, which is undecided. And then obviously the sellers won that fight. And as you can see, the 20 is over the 8 and it's coming down to start a new trend line. So, I hope you guys have found that interesting or helpful in any way. Please let me know in the comment box below, because obviously I want to help you guys out as much as possible, because obviously I'm learning from Greg and I'm watching the FOREX training programs from him and his team and from my coach and everything, and I just want to take that information and then just show it to you guys as clear as possible so you guys can get as much out of this as I am. But yeah, that's the plan. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and be in tune. Watch out for tomorrow's video, because tomorrow's video I'll be trying to find trend reversals and how you can combat that as well. So if you like this video, thumbs up, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.